Hey guys, Nubkeks here, and welcome back to some Heroes of the Storm. Today I'm bringing you some Gazlowe gameplay. Yes, that is right, we took a little bit of a look at him on the PTR with his new questing talent. I was actually pretty impressed with it, so what we're going to do in today's video is we're going to bring that talent build into an actual game. Again, I kind of theorized that Infernal Shrines should be his best map. And we're going to try exploit that, and we're going to work in some of the changes that I thought would be pretty good. I think at level 1, for example, we're going to pick up Scrap-O-Matic Smelter, which will essentially give us a whole bunch more mana back. So Scrap normally gives you, looks like at level 1 anyway, 30 mana and 3 times cooldown reduction. Whereas the talent I was picking up before was only giving us 4 times cooldown reduction, which is, you know, it's pretty good as well. But I said, hey, getting double mana back from that scrap is going to be pretty good. It's really going to help my mana sustain, especially if we're having these longer fights on the shrines here. Basically, the theory of this build is going to be laying down some of these AoE turrets, getting loads of value on these shrines, helping to clear those minions. And then if the enemy team tries to push in onto the shrine, as my teammates just kill everything down there, they're going to have a really tough time. As you can see, there is an Illidan on the enemy team. I did a warm-up game before this, and he was actually on the enemy team in that game as well, and he's pretty good. Don't know if he's going to be as good in this game. We shall see as we go. Our team comp in the previous game was pretty bad. In this game, it actually worked out kind of interestingly, actually. And by the way, thank you for people who are giving me the tip that you should use your trait to destroy turrets. I didn't actually bother confirming because I'm lazy, but I didn't actually bother confirming if the turrets just drop scrap if they die naturally or if you have to physically destroy them. But anyway, at least for the start of the game anyway, I'll be destroying these turrets and moving them further up the lane as we go. Obviously, once we pick up that level 4 quest, the turrets will hopefully, in theory, become virtually like infinite, permanent turrets, because it's all going to be coming from that Clockwork Steam Fist talent. Which will basically just increase their duration every time I land a basic attack. It should be pretty good. I actually managed to hit Illidan there. I was worried that would not hit the minion waves. We shall see. Anyway, as you can see, we've just have complete lane dominance over Illidan. He's not a great solo laner, to be honest. So that was kind of nice for me. I just get to push it in. Now, we don't get too much done, but at least it's absorbing some of the ammo in those turrets and what have you. I'm just going to make the move down to the shrine and get started right at the start. Why the heck not? I just hope we hit level 4 pretty soon. So yeah, I mean, Gazlowe, he's pretty funny. I think I messed this up as well. I actually lose aggro on these. That was kind of silly, but oh well. We'll see how things go. Again, I'm expecting this to scale. This build should scale pretty well. Well, mostly with that level 4 talent, which is when most of your power is going to come in, and then the other ones as well. I'm just going to try for the most part here. There we go. Clockwork Steam Fist is the first talent there at level 4. I'm going to lay this down. You can see all the quest pings popping up over those turrets whenever I land a basic attack, and you can see the duration just increasing and increasing and increasing. I'm just going to try lay down as much turrets as possible. That's my #1 priority. As you can see, you've got a bunch laid down this shrine already, and the enemy team has such a hard time coming in, and those turrets are continuing to kill minions as we go. Pretty nice indeed. Now, the turrets are kind of dying to the monsters as anyway, so the duration doesn't matter too much. We'll still be able to work this pretty well. Love this Malfurion, very brave, and getting the reward for his bravery right there. Pretty nice to see. My friend was sending me a message too, I was just replying to him. Anyway, yeah, here we go, we're going to push in. One thing I'm probably going to consider doing actually with the Gazlowe, and yeah, that's actually what I am going to do here, is to go and split push actually. Kind of unusual with the Sylvanas, but I decided in this case it might be worth it. So I'm going to use my, my stun, my E to help push the wave, throw down some turrets. And yeah, just start split pushing really hard. Kind of weird. I'm not sure about this. I think it works fairly well. I'm not sure if it's the ideal thing to do. Again, as I always say, usually with Sylvanas you want to push as a full team. Now Lily is going down to help our teammates out, so hopefully that will work out fairly well. Looks like we actually did kill Oriel, so that's pretty good. We're doing a pretty solid job. My turrets are dying to the towers and stuff, but we are kind of bursting, making our way through this, which is actually not too bad, considering that first Punisher, often all it gets is that sort of front wall. They won't get the keep. They did get the keep anyway because they had Sylvanas, and then we got the bonus value of the front wall too. I think that was a pretty good trade overall. Some heroes dying here and there, but that's okay. By the way, at level 7 I did pick up the extra large turrets upgrade, which lets them do attack, 2 additional targets for 60% damage, which is, it's just really nice. It's going to add a lot more damage. You could also, I was also very strongly considering actually the slow turrets as well, which makes your turret supply slow. That can be pretty damn strong and can really mess with someone like Illidan. I decided though in this game that I'd go for those extra large turrets, especially on Infernal Shrines. I figured that would probably be the go-to thing. We grabbed that healing orb just to give Malfurion a little boost in his healing regen there, just to hopefully he gets survive, and he does barely survive, so that's good to see. But as you can see, we're able to push super aggressively right here with the Sylvanas. Our teammates are playing really well, playing very aggressively, not taking any names, not taking any harm, so it's going pretty well for us. And the turrets are sort of covering our retreat, just making it a little bit awkward, a little bit tedious for the enemy team to get in behind us. And you'll notice as well, and you probably noticed earlier too, is that I will try to basic attack heroes as well, including the Illidan when his evasion comes down. I'm just going to try to smack him in the face. It's not much damage, but it is damage nonetheless. And again, it can be quite annoying, it can be quite difficult for the enemy team to fight through all of these turrets that you're laying down. And they are, again, just getting more and more powerful as you go through this game here. So, one thing that you'll notice is that I sort of neglect to destroy the turrets as we go. I don't think it's really too important to do so. It's certainly not at this point. We've got pretty much full mana. We've got all of our cooldowns. So I'm just going to leave those turrets behind. Sure, they'll get destroyed pretty much instantly, but that's okay. I'm going to leave one out here in the lane, which will help push that lane and zone people out. Same with this one. I'm just going to try to create this, again, this wall of turrets. Just make it difficult for the enemy team to come in. We're going to see them coming. It's going to be difficult for them. Kind of stressful. I decided to pick up Gravo Bomb, which is kind of the try-hardy thing. I kind of felt after playing the game that maybe Robo Goblin would have worked pretty well too. It's kind of hard to lock down some of the enemy team, like Johanna or Illidan. Like, Illidan can get out of it, Johanna has her iron skin, so it's kind of difficult. And then Oriel does have, I think she picks up the Crystal Aegis, so she is able to help anyone, including herself, that does get caught in my combo to just dodge the whole thing, is something I noticed. However, I don't know, it also works pretty well, and I did want this to be the more sort of like try-hardy Gazlowe video, like, okay, this is sort of like how you would actually play Gazlowe in you know, a serious draft game, Hero League game. I did actually first pick him as well, which is pretty bad. Yeah, I was the team captain and I was like, yep, banned out Zagara and they banned out Zul, and I was kind of like, my teammate wanted to play Sylvanas, and then the other teammate, the second pick as well, was kind of indicating that he could play pretty much anything. I was kind of feeling like, well, I don't know, I've kind of covered most of the heroes on Infernal Shrines that I'd want to cover, so I decided to bring out the Gazlowe's first pick, and my teammates didn't rage, which was really nice actually, so I was very happy to play with these guys. They're actually very positive. And then when we picked up the double support as well, and the double specialist, you know, they were just kind of grinning and saying, yeah, hey, cool, look, double support, double specialist, this should be fun. It was really nice to get a really positive attitude out of the team in this game. It really made it a lot more fun as well. I'm going to try to step into the middle of that Ring of Frost. Jaina will drop the Blizzard, so I have to walk out then after as well. Every team is doing pretty well. We do take that out. There you can see I try to do my combo on the Illidan just to try to get him off of us, but he was able to dodge it thanks to the Oriel helping him out. At this point I'm dead. There's no point in really staying. I'm just going to try run around here, get as much damage down as I can, lay down as many turrets as I can. And the turrets are going to continue doing damage. And that would be more effective, I suppose, if you had the slowing turrets, so you could kind of kite a bit more while you're doing so. I suppose it's difficult to kite Illidan though, really. And you can kind of see it right there at the end. You know, the turrets do quite a substantial amount of damage when they're shooting away. And that kind of, you know, even though I died, it did take the enemy team, I don't know, like 10 seconds or so to destroy those turrets and then recuperate from the damage they took destroying them. So, you know, even though I had to suicide, it did sort of buy quite a bit of time because I had those turrets up. It's pretty cool. Now level 13 is coming up here. I think I do go for the extra turret charges, which is not super essential. I don't remember what I picked. We'll find out now. I think I did pick that. Oh no, I remember. I picked up the extra range and radius on the bomb. Yeah. So I kind of decided, again, in the test video we did on the Gazlowe, that with this build, because you have so much cooldown reduction on your turrets and your turrets are lasting forever, it's not super important to get an extra charge of the turrets. Things your charges refresh quicker. The value of a charge is therefore less. So I decided we don't actually need it. And what I went for is the extra range and radius on my bombs instead. I felt that I was having a little bit of trouble actually landing combos and stuff, so I just wanted my bombs to actually be just a bit more effective in general as we go through. There's lots of good options on this tier. I think Sprint was on this tier as well, which is really nice too. I think you can kind of tweak this tier basically to the needs of the game. Maybe you do want the extra turret charges occasionally as well, I don't know. But you can see it's a nice little range thing there. I think I dropped down my heroic here. A little bit of a waste. She was going to die anyway. So definitely a waste of a very big heroic right there. But I just wanted to ensure that she would die. So she'd be dead for obviously the shrine. We secure the fort, and we just get like a really nice snowbally lead off of that. So it did end up being a waste in the end, but oh well, so be it. I'm going to destroy this turret here because it was kind of damaged, so I decided we didn't really need to keep it around. I'm running a little bit low on mana, so here we go. Gonna fight in here. Just going to set up the turrets as we go as well. It's really nice that we have Arthas too. It was a really nice pickup as well. Very good against Illidan, and really great on this map too. Lots of AoE damage on those shrines. And a very tanky frontline hero. Really nice pick there. I actually really like the team. We got such a bizarre composition, but I actually really like it. I actually like it a lot. And as you can see, like the enemy team has had a lot of trouble dealing with it. Now they have destroyed a lot of the turrets here. Janus Blizzard kind of finishing a lot of them off. Kind of throwing a bit of a laser there. Lay down some turrets, and my bomb is there as well. It's gonna hit the Illidan. Not too bad. I think that bomb pick was the right choice in the end. Gonna grab one regen over, but miss the other one. Our teammates are kind of finishing off the fight over to the other side. Yeah, I quite like that bomb upgrade. It does make it a little bit more flexible, which is quite nice. It's quite short range. Yeah, it's a pretty good one to pick up overall, I think. Level 16 is coming up soon, and obviously the key part to this build will be picking up the improved damage on your turrets. If you're going to have lots of turrets around the place, you definitely want them to be doing more damage. The way it works, superior schematics, they do 25% more damage when you're nearby. And you'll see that, you know, the turrets will get bigger, they'll sort of pulse red. You'll see it when I start laying them down here now. I've got the talent. But it's pretty solid. Yeah, there you go. You see the turret right there. It's bigger, it's red, it's doing more damage. And that's going to be really nice. Synergizes also awesomely with that level 7 talent we got, which just makes them do more damage to more targets. It's going to be pretty nice. At this point, we don't even need to push in too much. Just going to lay down a few turrets. Again, just keep those enemies busy. Make it tedious. They're going to also wipe out the waves. One of the things you'll have hopefully noticed throughout this video is that the enemy is super pushed in throughout this whole game. Despite the fact that, you know, we're kind of rocking the double support here. Our wave clear, in theory, isn't superb. It's we got Gazlowe, and we have Sylvanas, who are both very good, and Arthas is quite solid. And Malfurion and Lily, I suppose, out of supports are pretty good for supports. But it's not, you know, it's not the greatest you've ever seen. But still, we're able to do a lot of damage. And just keep these lanes pushed in. Even the Azmodan can't handle it. They're just being pushed in all the time, constantly, finding it very difficult to deal with. It becomes kind of scary. It's kind of like Abathur Mines as well with this build, because there can be turrets anywhere, and because it is difficult for several heroes to deal with them. Because it's like Abathur Mines, you don't want to run into that fog of war and just, you know, hey, run into mines. You don't want to run into the fog of war and discover turrets. It kind of makes it scary to actually invade the enemy. And it's like whenever you know the enemy team is doing a merc camp, it's still kind of scary because you go, oh, well, you know, sure, we could invade them and kind of catch them out a little bit, but they might have like 4 or 5 turrets set up, and that kind of swings the fight back in our advantage. Looks like our team actually invaded up at the Bruiser camp, so I'm going up there to help out too. I didn't notice it until it was happening, but I will get there eventually. There's a nice ring of frost from the Jaina. I'm going to throw down my combo. It will actually catch them this time. It actually worked out very well that time around. Just the timing of it with the Oriole thing. She'd actually popped her heroic, I think just to protect Jaina a little bit too early. And then the Crystal Aegis wore off as my combo popped. And we also caught, I think it was Johanna and Illidan, I could be wrong about that, I think it was them, in the just regular stun as well. So worked out really nicely in our favor right there. And here we go, we're right onto the core, and I think this is going to be the push for game here. The core is dropping very quickly. We have siege minions, we've got the Bruiser, Shaman, we have Sylvanas, myself with the turrets, all of us alive on the core. There it goes, and it's being burnt down. And there you go, GG, saying it to my friend. Let's switch over to the allied chat. There you go, GG. And worked out very nicely. I think it's, you know, Gazlowe is better than you think on Infernal Shrines. He really is, especially with this talent build. I think there's a lot going for it. I wouldn't recommend it as first pick. That was just kind of trolling because I wanted to make a video on it. Not so much trolling, but I was confident I could do a good job and that it would work pretty well. But it wouldn't have been ideal. But definitely you could sneak this in later into the draft and do a lot of damage. There's the stats. We'll come back to them in a second. We're going to take a look at the talents first, just to go over that build. So Scraphomatic Smelter for more mana, Clockwork Steam Fist, which is the core of this build, lets you get tons of turrets out, Rocket Turrets extra large for lots of AoE damage, the Gravo Bomb 3000, extra large bombs for flexibility, but you can switch it up there, and Superior Schematics, which is going to make those turrets you're getting down do a whole lot more damage. So really nice synergies between levels 4 7 and 16. And then that level 1, the extra mana, also helps fuel all those turrets you want to be laying down, thanks to those talents as well. I think there's really nice synergies within this build, actually. I think it works really well. And then I personally really like that the bigger bombs at level 13 too. I thought it was quite good and quite effective in this game. Just adding that bit more flexibility to how you use your bombs, making them be a bit more useful even without the Gravo bomb. Again, the Gravo bomb combo really comes into its own at level 20. I felt that this level 13 talent makes those bombs a little bit better, even from that earlier level. So that's quite good. But as you can see, like, the scaling on this is pretty nice. As I said, it provides a lot of protection against invasions into your siege camps and so on. A lot of pressure on the lanes. Really nice. Same thing, the same principle as protecting your siege camp applies to something like the Shrines and Infernal Shrines. A lot of pressure created there. Very difficult for the enemy team to push in, because as you're laying turrets down, not only are they doing a lot of work, getting a lot of value, clearing out those shrines, they can also absorb skill shots that are thrown in, and it just makes it very difficult for the enemy team to walk in, because they're walking into quite a fortified position and they're going to take a lot of damage on their way in. I would say that you're going to be somewhat dependent on team compositions. You're going to want a team that can kind of hold its own a little bit. It was lucky for us here, we had double support and an Arthas, and then Sylvanas, and our players were all playing pretty damn well. So yeah, we were able to kind of hold our own whenever the enemy team attacked in against us. And yeah, I mean, like, as you can see from the stats, we did a ton of siege damage, an absolute ton of siege damage, and we actually topped hero damage as well, pretty much purely from those turrets doing all that work when we were having some of those bigger fights, which is pretty cool. And then between our split push and split soaking too, we got a lot of XP, so really nice. Yeah, I'm curious to try it out in more and more games on this map and see how it holds up over the course of multiple games. But my initial impression is that it works pretty damn well, and most importantly, perhaps, it's a surprise. It's something people don't really know about. It's something people don't expect. Now, it might put your team on tilt if they see you picking Gazlowe, but I mean, if you warn your team in advance, it might be something like that. You say, like, hey guys, if the draft works out in our favor, I'm going to pick up Gazlowe, like, late in this draft, you know. And if you let your teammates know and they know to expect that, then they might be accepting of it. And then when you start, like, when they can check the stats during the game and see, oh yeah, he's actually doing a ton of damage, they'll kind of come around to it and go, oh yeah, okay, this is actually working pretty well. Wouldn't first pick it, but if you can pick it up late, again, people don't expect the turrets, they don't expect all the damage that's going to be coming out. I mean, as you saw in one of our previous videos, the Karazim video, we had a Gazlowe do it to us on Sky Temple, and I had teammates just, you know, run into the turret minefield and basically get killed because they did not expect that much damage and that many turrets to be there. So there you go, guys. Give a like if you liked the video. Hope you learned something new about a very unpopular hero, and I'll see you all next time. More Heroes of the Storm. Bye bye.